everybody, this is Austin Vickrey, and I recently did a virtual masterclass for the Clearwater Jazz Holidays Young Lions Jazz Master Sessions. My masterclass was on an approach to playing lead alto saxophone in a big band. So I'm just going to go over a few of the main points that we talked about in this masterclass. The first topic of discussion was talking about the roles of the lead alto player in the big band and saxophone section. So the lead alto saxophone player has many roles. He or she needs to be the voice of the saxophone section, be expressive, make the most of the melody using dynamics, articulations, and inflections. Blend and match sound with the other lead players. Be a leader, not a soloist. Okay, save your saxophone presence for solo sections and sax solos. Sometimes you're going to have to conduct the saxophone section and or conduct the band. So you want to make sure that you know how to do those things. The second topic of discussion was talking about sound and mouthpiece setup. So your sound as the lead alto player gives the saxophone section its identity. So it's important to have good equipment and a mouthpiece that feels comfortable and responds the way you need it to so that you can lead the section confidently and consistently. With mouthpieces, I didn't get into too much detail except that you just have to try a whole bunch of them to find out which one is going to be right for you. A couple things to keep in mind. The higher the number on the mouthpiece, the brighter the sound, and that's pretty typical, and vice versa. Also keep in mind that every person's mouth is different. You want to try a variety of mouthpieces. Also make sure you've got a good reed, or good reed strength that matches your mouthpiece so that you can get a consistent sound throughout your entire range. And if you're not sure about mouthpieces, ask a professional, ask a seasoned player. I'm sure that most of them are going to be happy to share that information with you. The third topic of discussion was how to lead the saxophone section specifically. So what are the ways that we can do that? The best approach is to make sure that you know how you're going to play the part before you do it. You want to play your part in a unique way, in a consistent way that's easy to follow and sounds good. A few ways to be expressive and lead the section are to emphasize all dynamics and articulations. Pay attention to detail. Slightly raise or lower your horn when doing a crescendo or decrescendo. Again, using inflections tastefully, vibrato, lip slurs, bends, fall-offs. And it's important that you be consistent in everything that you do. Sometimes there isn't a conductor for the big band, and you may have to be the conductor for the band as the lead alto player. So it's important to learn a few skills. You need to know how to conduct simple time signatures in 2, 3, or 4. Learn to use a free hand or learn to use your horn to bring the band in or cut them off, okay? You want to make sure that you know your music well enough so that if you do have to do these things like stand up, sometimes turn around, that when you go back to reading your part that you're not lost and that you can find your place in the music easily. The final topic of discussion was talking about developing these skills and developing your sound. So a few of the things that we talked about that's going to help you there is making sure that you're reading music every day. You got to have strong reading skills as a lead alto player. Making sure that you're listening a lot. Listen to the best lead alto players. Learn from the greats. That's really the best way to develop that skill set. Play in as many bands as possible so that you can gain a knowledge of the repertoire, so that when you go to a gig and you see a piece of music, you know, oh yeah, I know how to play this part and I can do it confidently. Learn to play in as many styles as you can. The best way to develop confidence is by studying and learning what you can, because the more confident you are, the more effective and consistent of a player you will be. Oh, don't forget your doubles. Gotta know doubles as a lead alto player. Clarinet, flute, soprano sax. Those are the big 3. Learn how to play them. And finally, a few ways to develop your sound. Practice sound and tonal exercises. Long tones. Ballads are a great way to develop your sound. matching pitch with a tuner. Also learning melodies, the Great American Songbook, standards, jazz standards, pop melodies, learn songs. And then also make sure you're listening to players that you like and research their influences so you can have an understanding of where they come from. All right, that does it for this recap of my masterclass on an approach to playing lead alto saxophone. So if you want to find out more information on what you missed, especially a list of listening, make sure you head to clearwaterjazz.com/education. And there you'll see a list of upcoming sessions, but you'll see a list for my session, and you can click on the session materials. There's a PDF of the keynote /PowerPoint that I used for my presentation, and you can access that and get more details from there. So once again, I want to thank the Clearwater Jazz Holiday for having me as a clinician for these virtual sessions. I'm excited to do some more virtual sessions, and I hope you will join me. Take care.